Okay, here we go. I just got done playing the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth demo, and holy cow, I had fun. All right, so first things first. Is it worth playing the game? Absolutely. If you like the first one, I highly recommend the demo. So if I were you and you were interested in Final Fantasy VII Remake, you enjoyed it, and you may be interested in Rebirth, go ahead and download the demo right now. Go ahead and play it because it is totally worth it. It's got some crazy stuff in there. I won't spoil it right now. So if you're looking for my opinion on, is the demo going to be worth playing? I say yes. Is the game worth pre-ordering? Well, that's going to be a personal choice. If you believe in pre-orders and you enjoy the demo, then I highly suggest that you probably pre-order it so you can play it as soon as possible without having to worry about spoilers in the story. There's already videos out there right now that are spoilers, but luckily enough, it seems that most of them are tagged. Let's jump into more of a review of the demo from certain things that I noticed. All right, there will be spoilers. If you don't want any of the game spoiled, go ahead and just stop right here. Don't keep watching. Wait for when the game releases, and I hope you enjoy it when it comes out. All right, so I got my handy dandy notes right here. Right. Got my notes. So let's go through it. Right. So first of all, when you start the game, you've got just a regular simple menu. The first part of the demo that's playable, you can play as Sephiroth or Cloud. You can play on easy or normal, which is pretty standard, I believe. And it is called, what is it called? It's called Fall of a Hero in Nibelheim. That is what they call the episode for the demo. So obviously, just by the title alone, you can tell it's going to be about Sephiroth's fall during the Nibelheim incident. Also in the menu, you have an option for story so far. That option is narrated by Red 13, and it basically outlines what happened in the previous game. It doesn't give any spoilers into this next game, and it doesn't even spoil any major plot points either from the original game. But it does get you relatively caught up to the general gist of what's going on. Basically, the world's ending. Sephiroth is the whole reason behind all of that. Also, let's see. The graphics. So the first thing that I noticed when I selected the story so far, just to see what that was about, the graphics caught me off guard. They are really good on PS5. Really good. It really surprised me how good the graphics are. A lot better than from 7 Remake. At least that's the way it felt to me. It's been a while since I played it on PS5 on my current living room setup, but it feels like the graphics are much improved. I think the whole story so far option, the video that gets you kind of caught up to what's going on from Final Fantasy VII Remake is actually a video that Square Enix has already released. So I don't think it should be spoilerish at all for any of you that may be kind of leery about spoilers but not too worried about it. I think it's already been put out by Square Enix, so that should be fine. What else? It also confirms thoughts that we've had about the Whispers in Destiny. All right, so the Whispers are trying to control fate. We already pretty much, I think everybody pretty much figured that out. And also they're trying to keep Destiny on track, right? So straight along, right on track. And by us defeating them, we broke out of that. We broke out of Destiny. So now sky's the limit. The future isn't set in stone anymore. So that's really all the story so far says. Just gets you caught up on who the bad guy is, what the stakes are, and that the destiny is not predetermined, which means that things that will be happening and the way the game ends will be different than the original game, which just goes to show that those of us that believe that this is actually a sequel are 100% right. I don't see how you can see it as anything else. If you don't think it's the sequel to the game, go ahead and write down in the comments like why you think that. It should be an interesting conversation because there's plenty of points to it being a sequel. Anyways, so let's move on to the playable portion, right? So, like I said before, it's titled Fall of a Hero in Nibelheim, right? So we're gonna start the game with some exposition from Barrett and Cloud, right? and it is almost beat for beat. The first 5 to 10 minutes is almost beat for beat, the exact same as the OG game, when Cloud is telling the gang and Calm about what happened in Nibelheim 5 years ago. Now, don't spoil anybody. We know the actual timeline, right? We know what actually happened, some of us at least. At least I do. All right, so let's see. It starts off with some cutscenes, you know, escaping from the Shinra Tower, Cloud and Barrett talking on the ride to Calm, and then it jumps ahead to at Calm, and everybody's sitting down and listening to Cloud as he recounts the story of the Nibelheim incident. All right, so once you're actually able to control the characters, you can open the menu. All the controls seem to be the same, so it doesn't look like any of the controls have changed, at least as far as the demo is concerned. Obviously, it being a demo, it could be different in the future game. So just keep that in mind, that some of this may change, because we're still, what is it? Today is the 7th of February 2024. So we still got 22 days till the game officially releases. So there's definitely a chance that there could be some other changes. Now, as far as the menu goes, what's interesting is the background for the menu, right? So in regular Final Fantasy VII remake, it's just a kind of like just a regular background, right? Nothing to write home about. This one has got a different one, right? So this is a little bit different of a background. It's got a bunch more shapes and things to it. Looks almost like the ruins of the Temple of the Ancients or the City of the Ancients or something like that. The thing is very ancient influence. So I think that's kind of leading to what maybe the focus is about the second part, is going to be understanding what the Ancients were about, what Genova was about, in more detail than previous games have gone into. So I'm really looking forward to that. Also in the menu, the general layout of the menu is better. I would say the UI is way more improved. It's nicer looking, it's slicker, and there's more stuff that you can look at. Now, I'm hoping that it stays the way it is. So controls are the same for equipping items and equipping materia. The hotkey menus are all the same. Basically, everything's the same as far as button presses go. But the UI is more detailed, which is what I think was missing from Final Fantasy VII Remake, was that there wasn't enough information. You couldn't see as many things that you wanted to, like key items, get more details, that sort of thing. And it looks a little bit better, at least as far as the demo goes. So that's definitely nice. I hope they stick with it, because it's still not a complicated UI. It just has more information, which I like. What else? So you start the demo at level 40. Not only do you start at level 40, you also have your abilities. So you know those abilities that you learn from your weapons, right? Your sword weapon abilities. You have 3 of them. I think, if I remember correctly, that's all but 1. So that is good. That means that you're getting a little bit of it, but that could change, because I don't know if any of you have played the Final Fantasy 15 demo. But in that one, you also start with a bunch of abilities that you ended up not having at that point in the game when you actually play the full game. So that could change, maybe not. But that's just something to keep in mind, that you may be able to start at a higher level, maybe, and with your abilities. Maybe it depends on your save files or what, because it did read my save files. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it either. All right, so what else? All right, so there's a bunch of references, right? So as he's telling the story and as you're running around, there are additional references to things that happen in the OG game. Some of the things like running through Tifa's house. So after you go to Nibelheim the second time in the OG game, there's Sephiroth clones all over the place. There are 2 Sephiroth clone children there. They are doing the same thing that they were doing in the OG game as Sephiroth clones, which is kind of neat. It's kind of a nice little throwback to what happened in the original game. You have dialogue choices. So when you enter Tifa's house, just like the OG game, you can choose to enter it or not, right? You can say, Did you go into my house, Cloud? Yes or no, that sort of thing. Did you go into my room, Cloud? Yes or no, that sort of thing. Although some of the options can maybe tick off the ladies in the group, which could mean that there might be a romance system, because we'll get to that later on. All right, so there's a potential for the romance system similar to what was in the original game. What else do we have here? The piano mini game. So I know some of the other channels like Maximilian Dude. I don't know if any of the other Final Fantasy channels have gone over it, but the piano mini game is addictive. I think I spent like 30-40 minutes doing a piano mini game, and that's with Tifa's theme on the piano. And my wife was listening up to the side playing World of Warcraft, and she was listening to the music. It's like, oh my god, that is so beautiful. What is that? I'm like, that's Tifa's theme. Duh. and so she's like, I want that as my ringtone. So she downloaded that. Now she's got Tifa's theme as her ringtone for me when I call. So that's pretty cool. But the gameplay is fun. It's complicated, but not overly so. It's hard, but not overly so either. And you can even speed it up if you want. If it's not hard enough, you can speed up the tempo, right? So basically, you're using the 2 analog sticks, right? So you got this one will control some of the beats. This one will control like the macro beats, right? So you got the metronome ticking in the background, and then as it goes, it's got a thing that comes out from the center, and just like the dart game, right? How the dart game would like zoom into a spot, and you hit the OK button as soon as it would do that. You're doing that with the sticks, right? And so as it gets closer, you go up this way, this way, this way, right? You go in the direction of that, and you got to time it towards the outer edge to get great, good, or bad, that sort of thing, or you miss it. You basically have to do perfectly in order to get S rank, right? So you got S rank, A rank, B rank, C rank, D rank. I was able to get A rank every single time. I spent like 15 minutes on it, and I'm like, all right, I gotta stop. I gotta do other stuff, taking up the living room. All right, so I had to stop there, but man, I could see myself doing each song, trying to get S rank for like 2 hours, easily. Just, it is really fun. And when you get it right, man, it sounds so good. Okay, so moving on from the pianos. All right, combat. So once you get a chance to get into combat works identical, at least in the demo. It works identical. The air combat is still somewhat janky. That could be an artifact from the previous game that they might have fixed, because I think I remember Maximilian Dude and some of the other guys who had done the combat demo for Genome. They had said that the aerial combat was pretty good. It's better, right? So in the demo, it's still kind of janky, but it's not terrible because you have Sephiroth in your party and he can basically one-shot everything. What else? All right, so when you're free roaming on the world map, running across the areas, you've got a ring around your character, and the ring is red. So once you see a red ring pop up, that means that you're getting close to aggroing an enemy creature in the vicinity, and it has red arrows to tell you in what direction they are. So if you don't want to get into combat, you can probably go around them, try to avoid them so you don't aggro them. But also, if you do want to aggro them, you can beeline right to them and then quickly get into combat with them. On the combat again, so you fight a mini boss, and then you fight the Materia Keeper, which I think a bunch of people will probably already figured out. So the Materia Keeper fight is really fun. It's not hard at all, though. Especially if you played Final Fantasy VII Remake, it is not difficult at all. But it is fun. So, you throw your assess out there, see what his weaknesses are. You bounce between the two characters, do that sort of fun. But you've got synergistic attacks, right? So one way is, in the tutorial, it has you hit the center button on the PS5 controller, and that brings up a menu, and it tells you what buttons you press to get the synergistic commands. And then after that, there's a certain phase in the fight, I think it's the last phase, where you can do R2. It brings up your combat menu, and the bottom choice is synergy. Go to synergy, and then you can do a synergistic attack there. So that's really cool. That's from the Intergrade stuff, doing synergistic attacks with what's his name in Yuffie. So that was really fun. I really like being able to do that, because if I wasn't sure like how I was going to bounce between the characters, I could do an attack with one, like build up his ATB attack with one. Cast a spell or pop in a synergistic command. While he's popping up the synergistic command, then I could flip over to the other one, and then the synergistic command will pull him up closer to the enemy. So then I could use a little bit of strategy that with the synergy, just pulling the guys in closer to the boss. Overall, it was very, very good. I think I played for about 2.5, 3 hours to complete the whole demo as it sits. And then after you complete the demo, it does the thing where, like, would you like to pre-order the game? I've already pre-ordered the game before the demo came out, so I'm not worried about pre-ordering the digital copy right now. I don't know. I'm a Final Fantasy VII nerd, so I probably will, to be honest, so I don't mess up my disc copy. But also, another option unlocks in the main menu. So right beneath the selection for the playable demo, Fall of a Hero in Nibelheim, a new option unlocks, and it is called Dawn of a New Era in Genome. So the next portion is going to be the demo portion that a lot of the influencers and content creators were playing at the big Square Enix event, where they got to run around Genome, ride chocobos, and that sort of thing. So it says that it will be released in a future download. So that's what we got looking forward to as far as the download for the demo goes. Is as of right now, you got the Nibelheim flashback. For the most part, completely playable. It goes all the way till the end, to where Sephiroth flips out. So it's a majority of the flashback. And then once you complete that, it will unlock the ability to play the Genome demo once that is downloaded in the future. So the option will be there, but you won't be able to play it quite yet. And so we'll probably pop on, do another quick review of the demo once the next download unlocks the Genome portion. So final thoughts, man, I am super stoked. I am super impressed. This does not pull my hype down whatsoever. It just pumps it up. It plays the exact same. The graphics are better. There's some slight improvements. There's UI improvements. The story is almost beat for beat exactly the same as the old one, which is exactly what a Final Fantasy VII nerd like me really wants. So overall, I am super happy, super excited. So if you're excited, go ahead and comment below on how excited you are. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this review, and subscribe so you can be notified the next time that we talk about the next Final Fantasy VII Rebirth thing. I can't wait. Can't wait. And for those of you waiting around for our World of Warcraft content, we are working on World of Warcraft content. I will be back soon. Have a good one.